Week number 3 in the National Football League featuring World of Matchups. Las Vegas, Nevada, Dexter Reid on one side. On the other side, my A1 from day one and producer extraordinaire coming in hot for the first 2 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in Spencer the Wiz.
What's going on? A pretty good slate this week, actually. It's only going to get harder from here. You know what I mean? To call these games because uh, there's a lot of great matchups this week, actually. I think this has been a good season so far. Like I feel like every year we normally see these giant lines between teams, and it feels like it's getting a little bit closer. Like every game is kind of just at within a touchdown. I feel like that's kind of rare. I don't know.
It's been good so far, man. I can't lie. I'm enjoying this season. My fantasy teams aren't doing that well, and my Chiefs aren't doing that well. But that's the beauty of this season is that you could start slow and still be a champion at the end, or you could start fast and then be in the toilet at the end. NFL changes from week to week, and so we got to really be on top of it, especially for handicapping purposes, which is what we are doing here at World of Matchups. Without further ado, Mr. Wiz, please cue up some music and set this off for us.
All right, yeah, we're going to start with the Raiders. I figured it's probably the best place to go. They're one of the 10 o'clock games, and here's the thing about last week. It was frustrating. It wasn't like I don't know. I can't. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's not like the Raiders got blown out last week. I think that's what made it the most. I'd rather have seen the Raiders lost like 37-3 or something like that, because they were right there for a good portion of the game. I mean, they start off with an interception and then end up tying it right afterwards. So while it was a terrible start to the game and it ended up kind of being like an even Steven start by the end of or I should say by the middle of the first quarter, and they got close so many times, man. Gino just looked like a completely different quarterback. And I think the number one issue is they're so obsessed with the play action right now. But the play action is supposed to be used after you set up the run, and they're forgetting to run the football. I know they haven't gotten a lot of push from the offensive line so far, but it's like you don't know that necessarily because the sample size is so low. Like I feel like Zamir White is getting like about the same amount of carries, or at least it feels that way. I know it's not actually like that as Ashton Genty right now, and obviously Genty voiced his concerns in a conference, deservedly so. He's a young kid, so obviously he's a little upset about it. And you know what? As I'm thinking about it, Jackson Power Johnson's coming back for this game. He's cleared. Brock Bowers is off the injury list, period, which obviously is a big plus. And I think Chip Kelly's going to play or call a much better game. It's his first time back in the pros after a while. It's not Ohio State, man. You can't just kind of call whatever pass play that you want. You got to save those kind of nice, because he has a nice playbook. I think anybody who watches tape will agree with that. He likes to do the triple wide out to the right, to the left, and mix things up all over the place. I love it. I think it's great. He's a creative offensive mind, but you can't forget to run the football. It's going to kill you. It's going to kill you. And I think they're going to do a little course correction today. Now, the biggest thing that goes against the Raiders in this matchup is the travel, man. The Raiders always have the worst traveling in the NFL. You go New England, travel back home. On Monday, right, you're playing the Chargers. A short week. Now you got to fly all the way across the country to play Washington again. So I think everything is going against them, and I think everybody's going to be on the Washington Commanders. But you know what? As crazy as it is to say, I think this Raiders defense can control Marcus Mariota. They lost Austin Eckler, and you're really going to depend on Marcus Mariota to throw the ball over 30 times. He's going to have to, right? This Krosky Merritt kid, they're going to give him the ball over 20 times in this game. I don't think so. He's been kind of used pretty sparingly, and I don't know if they're just going to unleash the beast on him. The Raiders' run defense has been pretty good this year. Their linebackers have been much better than anyone could have ever predicted. They got Pruitt from the Bengals. Devin White has played pretty well. And a couple other guys like Eichenberg and stuff have stepped in when they needed to. Their pass game has been bad, but like I said, I don't think Marcus Mariota is going to carve them like a Thanksgiving turkey. The Raiders are plus 2.5. I think they have a good chance to win this game. I think most people are going to be on the Washington Commanders. And I think it's going to be one of those games where the Raiders kind of reestablish themselves. They go back to the drawing board and be like, all right, let's give Ashton Genty the ball. Let's control the clock. Let's win by a field goal at the end of this. I don't think they're going to blow them out, but I'm just, and I know Marcus Mariota got a win last year starting for them, but I think the Las Vegas Raiders are a better team with Marcus Mariota as a quarterback for the Commanders. If it was Jaden Daniels, I wouldn't believe this at all. I would so on the Washington Commanders would probably be -4.5 if he was playing, and I would take Washington. But I think this new quarterback change is going to be a big enough change for him that the Raiders can win this game.
I don't trust Vegas. They look horrible on Monday night. Horrible. And I'm not surprised. I mean, I bet against them. Chargers are a very good team. I just don't trust them. They're just too Jekyll and Hyde for me here. I mean, Ashton Genty cannot pass block to save his absolute life. I mean, the blocks this guy was throwing were... My grandmother throws better blocks. I mean, it was comical. I mean, if you can't pass block, you can't win. You got to protect Geno, man. And Geno is... He's like black Jared Goff. Once the footsteps are heard, you know what I mean? Once the footsteps are heard, he's a different quarterback. I mean, that's for any quarterback, but that's really for Geno. You know, he really has to have the run game setting up. He really has to have solid protection. I mean, Powers Johnson will be back. Okay, but like, I mean, he looked bad, man. Really bad. And how do you look really, really that good week one and then come back at home and look that horrendous? I guess styles make fights, but I just don't trust the Raiders here at all. I don't know how the Commanders are going to win this game, but if you're telling me a field goal wins you money in their building, that's what home field advantage is right there. That's your 3 points. Marcus Mariota is a former Raider. There's the little revenge narrative there. I think they'll find a way to win this game. Terry McLaurin's done nothing. Debo's done nothing. These guys are due. And don't forget old man Zach Ertz, man. Zach Ertz is a pro's pro. Guy's been playing as long as, like, dinosaurs have roamed this earth. He is always good to catch a bunch of balls when it doesn't matter. And he'll score a touchdown because he's just a forgotten about guy, but he's still a very good possession receiver. You know, catch the ball and go down, Zach. That's what he does. And I think this defense will do enough. Babby Wagner will do enough. They'll do enough, man. The Raiders right now, to me, they don't look any different than last year's Raiders. They're the Raiders. They're a 7-win team. They're an 8-win team. And then it's next year will be better. But next year you won't be better because you're going to do the same thing that you did last year. Ashton Genty has done absolutely nothing. It doesn't matter how many times you give the guy the ball if you can't block and he can't pass protect. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. And this is the NFL. This is not Boise State. And so I'm going to take the Commanders here. I'm not going to take them with a whole lot of confidence because I never liked Marcus Mariota either. But he's the same style of quarterback that Jaden Daniels is, and I think he's got enough left in the tank to win this game by 3 points. Take the Commanders, not with a whole lot of confidence on my end.
All right, let's go to the Indianapolis Colts. They're playing the Tennessee Titans. That was one of our better calls last week, obviously. The Colts beating the Broncos.
Good, man. They look good.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre, if we're being honest, how well the Colts have played this year. Easily one of the surprise teams of the year. I mean, defensively, obviously, they're just kind of rocking it right now. And they have had a good defense for many years now. I mean, that's always been
always do. It's Daniel Jones, dude. Anyone that leaves the Giants goes somewhere and becomes a star. This is Indiana Jones we're looking at. He's a different quarterback. He's a different player. He's a different person. Coaching matters. Styles matter. Offensive schemes matter. Location matters. The guy got paid a big contract for a reason. And maybe now you're seeing why with a different team. It's like you break up with a girl and then all of a sudden she's in the best relationship with another guy, and then years later you realize you fumbled the bag. That's what this is. This game's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting. And to give credit to the Tennessee Titans, their defenses also look very good this year. I mean, they're playing closer than anyone had ever expected.
Dude, they're playing tough teams, man. The Rams?
Yeah, I know. They've had a tough start to the season.
They've had a tough start. What do you want from Cam Ward, man? These are top defenses he's suiting up against in the NFL.
He's playing another one.
And he's playing another one this week. Playing another one this week.
I am going to take the Colts. I think this is going to be Cam Ward's worst game so far. But to be honest with you, like, if I have a rookie quarterback and I know I'm not making the playoffs, I think this is like a handcrafted schedule I think I would make for him, to be honest with you. Like, if you're a franchise, I don't think you want gimmies to start your year. You want it to be as tough as possible. It's been tough as nails. I mean, he's playing 3 weeks, 3 top defenses, like maybe top 10. I don't know. The Rams, I guess, are, yeah, I'd probably call them closer to top 10 than not. And another one, I mean, this is like a top 5 defense in the Colts this week. I don't think he started an interception yet. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think he has. I think this is the first week where he does. And, the Colts played the Broncos last week, and they put up points. I know Tennessee's Titans have played really tough defense, and they've been very good on that side of the ball this year. But, I think the Broncos have a better defense, and they still were able to score, like, a lot. And I think it's just going to be too much, right? Can the Colts score 24 points in this game? Probably. So now I'm saying, are the Titans going to score 20? I don't know, man. I just haven't seen them score that much. It's like it's hard for them to put that many points up on the board this year.
They make too many mistakes, man. If they catch some of these balls, they'd win some of these games.
I know.
They drop the ball too much. They do have a ways to go.
Ruin their franchise, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't do that. And now he's just languishing in Philly.
I know.
Collecting rings to do nothing, which makes no sense to me either. Whatever. I mean, he's like a cardio
I like
kid
the
now.
Colts, though, man. I just think Cam Ward's going to have a pretty rough game, and it's going to be. I think there's just going to be one turnover enough to just make this to be like a 24 to 17 game or something like that.
Yeah. I could see it. I mean, after going 7-8 last week because I threw my nuts on the table one too many times, you would think that I would learn. You know what I mean? But I just see this as being a classic trap game, man. I don't think the Titans are as bad as they are, and I don't think the Colts are as good as they are. I just don't. I think there's a lot of football to be seen, and Cam Ward has faced really tough defenses to start his NFL career. And here's another one. Now, this is what I know. You get better from playing better teams. I think every week they'll get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. I just think 4.5. Anytime I see these weird lines, they make me feel uneasy, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
A weird one.
Where's 4.5 come from? Why is it? Why is it not 6 or 7? You know,
it's one of those games where there's going to be a safety in there or something like something bizarre.
If the Titans are this bad, why? And we just saw
extra point or something bizarre like that.
I mean, seriously, and let's not act like the Colts weren't a bad holding call at the last play of the game away from losing last week in their building. I know JT went off, but I mean, the Titans have a decent defense, man. Jeffrey Simmons is paid. He's really, really good. I mean, Snead is good. He's there. Is this their home opener? No, this is their second game at home. I think they're going to be in this game. Mm-hmm. I think special teams is going to find a way to win this. Guys, it wouldn't surprise me to see the Titans win this game.
No,
the Colts are good, but they're not, dude. They're no world beaters, man. They've had a really nice start. Last week, some luck went their way. I mean, could Daniel Jones turn into a pumpkin at any time? The answer is 1,000% yes. I mean, this is not like a string of 10 wins. We've seen this from Daniel Jones. It's just 2 games, guys. I think we need to relax. I'm going to take the Titans on some pull and pray-ish and hope it goes well. Again, like when it comes to handicapping for me, man, I want to maximize the most amount of money I can make. So even if I'm putting $10 down, I'm not trying to get $9.50 back. I'm trying to get $13.50 back, $15 back. And I think the Titans could pull this out. Cam Ward is the number 1 pick for a reason, man. I think he needs to start running. Cam, you got to run a little bit, bro. This is an NFL. Look at what Mahomes is doing. They have nothing. The cupboard is bare, and Mahomes is like, I don't care, man. I'll do it myself. The quarterback is leading the team in rushing. You may have to do a little of this here. Tony Pollard is getting no room to run, no screen passes. I think the play calling is absolutely abysmal. I mean, if the Titans open it up at all, a little bit, and they catch one of these balls, they're covering this 4.5. Take the Titans.
Hey, let's go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to New England.
Bunch of bums.
The Steelers are -1.5. What an embarrassing game for the Steelers last week against the Seahawks.
Bunch of bums the Steelers are. You guys are a bunch of bums. I will not bet you guys this week.
Pittsburgh right now, it is falling apart. They could have easily have lost that game against the Jets and beat an 0-2 hole right now, easily. And the Patriots played a much better game in week 2, right? Again, week 1 was weird. It was a rain game. It was like this. Those are always kind of strange football games. They have their own identities.
Pats are going to get better each week under that coach with that quarterback. Every week they're going to get better.
It's just so weird. I feel like the Steelers do the opposite of what I think they do every week. So it's like I should try to think what I think and then go opposite. You know what I mean? But I hate to do this because I think I'm wrong, but my gut is telling me to take the New England Patriots at home. It's like every week I'm like, okay, the Steelers are going to figure it out. The Steelers are going to figure it out. And then it's going to be like halfway through the season and they're not going to have done that. And I'm going to have all those losses trailed behind me because I believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to get back to the way that they were. Aaron Rodgers looked worse last week for sure. Mm-hmm. The Patriots have a good defense. Like I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be eating in this game. They're going to get shredded in the run game. Ramondre Stevenson take all of his overs. Dude, it was like 3rd and 17, and Kenneth Walker just like moonwalks into the end zone last week. That was unbelievable. It's like Ramondre Stevenson had a huge week last week. Imagine what he's going to do to the Steelers defense this week. Here's the thing. Their whole defensive line was holding out this year. Everyone's begging for money. These guys haven't even won a playoff game. There's something wrong with the Pittsburgh locker room, I think. Cam Hayward took a whole offseason off. You know, I just signed my contract. Well, I want a bigger one this year. What a little baby, in my opinion. And he sucked. He has sucked this year. And you can say the same thing about TJ Watt. I mean, I know it's a little bit of a different situation because he's younger and he wants a big contract, but missing the offseason matters so much. It's like, it's really hard to get in shape during the season because you're not working out. I mean, I know that in a game you're I guess technically working out, but it's different, man. When you're like pushing your physical limits, you can't do that during the season because you're getting your head bashed in every play. It's a different kind of shape. And I think it's just going to take them long. Like they need a bye week. Like the Steelers, I feel like are going to be like barely holding their head above the water. And I think New England can win this game. I like the way that they looked last week. I like the way their offense looked. And to be honest, I think the Raiders defense is better than anyone is going to give credit for a long time. Because even going back to, last week, the Chargers only scored 20 points in that game. And it wasn't like they gave up trying to score. The game was close. It was 9-20. And I think the New England Patriots are going to be able to score some points again this week. And I think the Steelers are going to turn the ball over again this week. And I think maybe it ends up being a 1-point game. Like that 1.5. Again, we just talked about the 4.5 line. 1.5 is bizarre. What do you mean 1.5? What does that even?
Where do these lines come from this week? All these lines are like this. Exactly.
Yeah.
They're all weird.
The Patriots try to go for 2 at the end of the game, and they don't get it or something. You know, something just bizarre. You don't see 1.5 very often. There's another game this week that is also like that. That's a strange line, and the sports books somehow are like aliens, man, and they know where these half points come in, and it just feels like one of those games where that half point is just going to like pop up somewhere, and you're just going to be shocked that it did. And I like the Patriots this week at home.
I like them too, man. I can like them too. There's no world that I'm taking the Steelers again after that. They embarrassed me. I just can't do it, man. Screw the Steelers, bro. And let me tell you something, man. That defense has gotten old fast. Really fast. I mean, when you're giving up chunk yards like that to Breece Hall, to Kenneth Walker, I mean, they're good backs, but I mean, like, your defense is surrendering 40. Defense is surrendering over 30 at home in Pittsburgh to a Sam Darnold-led team. Stop it. I'm sorry. There's no universe where I would take you this week, and I'm not going to. It wouldn't matter who you were playing, but I actually believe in the Patriots, man. I think they're going to get better every single week. Even in defeat, they're going to grow. Vrabel has these guys ready. Now, I know Travion Henderson's in the doghouse because the penalties and all the nonsense he's doing, but Ramondre Stevenson has been a paid running back under contract. They're not just going to let this guy fade into obscurity. They're going to give him the ball. And he had like a 50-yard reception last week. He ran all day long on Miami. They're going to run at Pittsburgh here, and they're home. I think Christian Gonzalez might play. He's on the other side of questionable. Hopefully he suits up. If he does, that just helps them even more. Diggs working his way back. Booty, Douglas. They have a bunch of different guys that with the ball in their hands can make some hay. Even Hunter Henry has like 8-9 touchdowns a year. Drake May can run and the defense is solid, and you're giving me points versus old man Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they look horrendous last week. If you take DK Metcalf out of that Pittsburgh equation, how are they going to score, man? Seriously, how are they going to score? You think Jalen Warren is going to be the answer? They don't believe in Caleb Johnson at all. Who they throwing to? Pat Fryermuth is going to score 2
might throw
touchdowns?
Caleb Johnson in jail.
I mean, like, it's so bad. I don't know. I don't trust the Pittsburgh Steelers here. I'm going to take the Pats here, and I'm going to take them with a decent amount of confidence. 1.5 is a weird line, but home dogs pay dividends. Take the Patriots here and feel good about it because the Pittsburgh Steelers, after that disgusting loss, get no respect from me.
Let's go to probably the weirdest line of the week, in my opinion. It's the New York Jets. They're going to Tampa Bay. Tyrod Taylor led New York Jets, and the Bucs are only minus 6.5 point favorites. This is obviously the trap game of the week. I'm going to fall for the trap. In no universe am I going to take. And look, this is one of those games where it's a trap game for a reason, and it's just going to shock everybody. It's a short week for the Tampa Bay Bucs, obviously, but man, do they look good. The Tampa Bay Bucs just look such a solid team. I know
the NFC is like the new AFC. You get the Rams, you got the Bucs, and the Eagles. Like, they're all, and the Packers. All of a sudden, there's a whole bunch of teams that are like in serious contention. And if the Niners ever get healthy, they're going to be there too. Whereas, like, it wasn't like this last year. It was just the Eagles. You know what I mean? It's just the Eagles. I like the Bucs here too, man.
And even if Ibuka doesn't play, they still had, like, everyone was surprised when they took a wide receiver in the draft because they were still deep at wide receiver, and they still are. Tez Johnson could have, like, a pretty crazy game or something like that. Like, you never know. Obviously, other than Mike Evans, you just go back to him being wide receiver 1, not Ibuka. I think it just fits in, and the Jets defense is just falling apart. I mean, I was a big anti-Jets guy this year. I wasn't even a huge Aaron Glenn guy to start with. I think it was a bizarre fit to bring in a defensive-minded coach, and then you just push your chips in the middle for Justin Fields. It's just such a bizarre combination to me. And they got absolutely destroyed by Buffalo last week. I don't know if the Buccaneers will destroy them. The Buccaneers aren't really a destroying type team, but they know how to control a game. And what happens when they go up 10-0? What are the Jets going to do at that point? Throw an interception, fumble. You know, it's just like, I can see this game playing out. Are the Jets going to go toe-to-toe with the Buccaneers? Probably not, right? I mean, I don't know. I know it's the National Football League and anything can happen any week, but you know, sometimes you just got to take the bait, I guess, from the sports book. I'm more than happy taking the bait for the Buccaneers because Tyrod Taylor stinks. The Jets stink. I mean, how in the world are they going to stay close in this game?
I love the Buccaneers here. I don't care it's a short week. I don't. And if Ibuka doesn't play, I don't care either. I'm still laying it. Touchdown wins your money. Fire the cannons. Tyrod Taylor on the road is just a recipe to burn your own money if you bet the Jets here. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. Jets defense is good, but they're a tad overrated. They really haven't been able to do much. Last week, I put all my chips on the Jets, thinking that they would play with pride and play hard versus a Buffalo team that, you know, gave up 40 burger in their own building, and they came out flat. I mean, I get that your leader gets concussed, but the game's not over if your starting quarterback goes out. You have to have plan A, plan B, plan C. And, like, they looked like a bunch of kittens. And so I think they're going to go to Tampa, and I think they're going to lose this game by at least 10 points. They're going to get murdered. Tyrod Taylor's good for 2 touchdowns. If he doesn't run for 50 yards, the Jets have no chance of winning this game at all. At all. It's going to be backdoor covers, if anything, and I just don't see it. Blanket Garrett Wilson. What else are you going to do, man? Bucky's going to have a good day. Kate Otton's going to have a good day. Miller's going to have a good day. You still have Mike Evans. I mean, it's not like there's any shortage of weapons on this Buccaneers team. You know what I mean? Even their backup running backs are good enough to start in this league. And they can score touchdowns. You saw it last week. So I like the Buccaneers here, man. I'm not going to waste any more time talking about the pathetic Jets and how they screwed me last week. They can just fade into obscurity for all I'm concerned.
Let's go to what I would consider to be one of the more bizarre lines this week. It's the Los Angeles Rams are going to Philadelphia. The Rams are plus 3.5 in this game. Let's go back a couple of games, the last 2 games that they've played. A snow game, right? And the Rams were like right there in that game, by the way. Could have easily have stopped the
Should
Philadelphia
have won
Eagles
the
from winning
game.
that Super Bowl. And then you go back to, I don't know if it was a Thursday game that they played, but they played a primetime game with them in that same year. And it was also very close. I think the Rams win this game. I haven't seen anything from the Philadelphia Eagles to say like, oh my gosh, yeah, they're just going to run the table again this year. The Rams are going to shut down the run is like not true, but they're going to keep the run game in check. No one's been able to do that enough, I think, for the Eagles. Like Jalen Hurts has not passed the ball this year. He's like, he goes into the pocket. First read's not there. All right, let me take off. You're not going to do that against Jared Verse and this defensive line. I know Brandon Fisk is questionable in this game, so that definitely hurts them big time. But, you know, the rest of that defensive line is definitely good enough. This is like my upset game alert of the week. I think the Rams are, I don't think they lose 3 games in a row against the Eagles, considering how close that they've been. And the Rams just look a little bit better every week. I mean, they're torching people in the past game. Puka Nacua, man. He's just
he's awesome.
He is such a monster, dude. He's just unguardable. And now and when you do go bananas on him, Devontae Adams is like picked it up too. It's just, I think they're going to rip him apart. I really do. I don't think they're going to blow him out or anything like that. I think the Rams do win this game, though. Rams money line, and I'm getting plus 3.5 in this game. This is the first loss of the season for the Eagles for me. I'm not just going to roll over with the Eagles every week. And this is one of those weeks where I think the Rams have their number.
That's a great argument, man. You know, I've watched all these last few games that they've played. The snow game, you know, Saquon did what he needed to do. And, you know, when they played him in L.A., that was a pretty convincing win. I believe that was a Monday night game as well.
Okay, yeah.
The Eagles are just better. Okay, they're just better. And because they have a quarterback who's mobile and he's not 40. So I think that's going to be the difference. I do think that the Eagles cannot continue to keep winning this way. I never thought in my wildest dreams that the Chiefs would lose 3 straight games to the Eagles, but here we are. You know what I mean? Like, there's just great competition, and then there's greater competition. And right now, until somebody can talk me off the ledge, the Eagles are the people who are carrying the crown. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and that's who they are. And they're winning without even throwing. You can't tell me that this is going to continue. It just can't. In front of their fans, with A.J. Brown, with Dallas Goedert, with Slim Reaper, Saquon out of the backfield, they got a million guys that can catch the ball. Like, they're eventually going to throw. You're going to stack the box against Saquon, and they're going to make you pay for it one way or another. And, you know, look, the coaching staff of the Philadelphia Eagles has done a good job here, man. I'm not a Sirianni fan at all. I don't like the guy at all. But you got to give the guy his flowers. You know what I mean? He's becoming an X's and O's guy here with how they're doing things. Now, I'm not a big fan of the tush push and how, you know, it's false starting and they're getting away with it. But I'm not one to say let's ban it. You have to stop it. Or create your own tush push, kind of like what the Buffalo Bills have done. I think this is going to be enough for them here to win this game by more than 4 points in their building. Kyron Williams kind of worries me. Smaller. They do push the pile. I think if you can just control Puka or get to Stafford here. Dude, Stafford is a statue. And if Jimmy G comes in, the game is over. The game is over. I know Stafford's looked good, but he's got a back problem. One bad hit from Jalen Carter. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many variables for health in this game on the Rams side that worry me that I'm not going to touch this game. But if I had to, I would take the Eagles minus the 3.5. Puka Nacua plays wide receiver like a linebacker. He's just asking to get hurt. These are the champs, man. They're not going to just roll over. Yes, the game will be close like all of them have been. They've been super close, and then something happens in the third quarter and something happens in the fourth quarter where Saquon makes a play, and then all of a sudden the Eagles, they win by 10. That's what's going to happen tomorrow. Take the Eagles minus 3.5. I'm taking them with confidence as well. I like the Rams a lot. They're just not there yet, man. They're in the conversation, okay? But let's not forget what we're talking about here. This is an Eagle team that single-handedly has taken apart the Kansas City Chiefs 3 straight times. That's not easy to do. The Rams haven't done anything like that to anyone. And they're traveling. Cheesesteaks for everyone.
I'm going to discuss myself with this next game. I'm going to make myself sick to my stomach for taking this, but it's the Atlanta Falcons. They're going to Carolina to play the Panthers. I'm going to take the Panthers plus 5.5. I hate to do this to myself. It's a division game. AJ Terrell is out for this game, and their other cornerback is questionable for the Atlanta Falcons. And you saw it last week. They covered last week, the Panthers. So, I'm not grasping at straws here necessarily. Hunter Renfrow and Bryce Young started to heat up. Teterow McMillan has been a steady hand for them all year already so far. And I do see Bryce Young getting a little bit better. 4 touchdowns. He had 3 touchdowns last week, 1 interception. He looked much better. If AJ Terrell is playing in this game, I'd feel a lot different. I really believe he's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. He had a nasty injury last week. I was watching that game, and I think it's going to be enough. The Atlanta Falcons are much improved. There's no reason to really believe that they're not going to blow them out, but one of my favorite player prop this week is anytime touchdown for Teteroa. He's due. He had a big week last week. He's due for a touchdown. It's that half point, dude. I think this is going to be a 5-point victory for the Falcons. Whenever you see those hooks, man, it does affect me. I don't know. It really does. Like, can the Carolina Panthers get blown out any week in the National Football League? Easily. It can happen anytime, anywhere, against any team.
At any moment.
But I also think they're going to be one of those teams that where they're terrible, and then they cover every game, and you're like, what the heck just happened? And that's what I feel like is going to happen in this game. I think the Carolina Panthers are just going to improve just enough. I think the Falcons are just beat up enough for them to cover in this one. I don't feel good doing it. I feel sick to my stomach, but something just tells me that they're going to cover. They're going to find a way to cover this game.
Yeah, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. They did look good at the end last week. You know what I mean? They were coming on strong, but I think that's more of a product of what Arizona isn't versus what they are. I watched the Falcons single-handedly take apart a very good Minnesota team. That's a very good team, and they did it on the road. And what you're seeing now happen with the Falcons is that they're doing it with defense. That's not been their MO.
James Pierce had a good game last week.
That's not been their MO. They get after it here. And I think that's what you're going to see here. Like Carolina, they're still a ways away, man. I think the Atlanta Falcons would have been smart if they really thought that they were going to take Penix to never have signed, Kirk Cousins and invest in more defense, because now you're more balanced on both sides of the ball. London, Mooney, those guys haven't blown up yet. Guys, it's coming. You know what you're going to get from Bijan Robinson. My favorite bet in this game is anytime touchdown for Kyle Pitts. You laugh all you want. He's underachieved his entire career, but Kyle Pitts is coming on with this team. He is a better player with Penix at the helm, and with the defense playing the way they are, I cannot in my right mind not take them here. If it was 7, maybe I'd take Carolina. 2 field goals wins you money. Dude, the Panthers are gross, man. Bryce Young has lost 2 linemen. It's just bad. It's just bad. Without Chuba Hubbard, this is a 2-win team. Maybe. I just can't trust them here, man. They're a backdoor cover king road team. At home, they stink up the joint. They played that one good game versus Kansas City last year, and they've done really nothing since, man. Falcons minus 5.5. Let's go.
All right. I'm taking a lot of dogs this week, but I'm trying to stay confident. I had a good couple first weeks. I'm going to keep trusting my gut. It's the Cincinnati Bengals. They're playing the Minnesota Vikings. The Bengals are plus 2.5 in this game. Carson Wentz is going to come in, and I'm not betting on Carson Wentz for the rest of my life. So anytime Carson Wentz is playing a football game, I'm going opposite. But even beyond that, Jake Browning's played a lot of football recently. He's not like he's coming in cold. He played a good half. He didn't play a great half. Let's
borderline starter with those guys.
Well, in our fantasy league, everyone made fun of me because I spent half of my fab budget on Jake Browning, but
Yeah,
I did that for a
that's
big reason, man. This guy has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. What free agent out there in fantasy has those kinds of weapons? It never pops up like ever in any week in football. And so I'm a big Jake Browning guy. Not that I love him to be like the best quarterback ever, but no quarterback that becomes available in fantasy is in that kind of opportunity. No one, literally, I will say nobody. And so I kind of went all in on him. And I don't think the Minnesota Vikings are, I mean, they're a well coached team, but JJ McCarthy's been terrible. Is Carson Wentz going to play better than JJ McCarthy? I don't think so. I think this is another one of those games. I'm going to take a money line ticket with the Rams and Bengals, and I'm just going to take both of them. I'm going to get a huge plus. I feel like these are going to be two upsets, and I wouldn't even call them upsets necessarily. Well, the Rams one would be, but I don't think anyone would call the Bengals winning this an upset. But I'm not taking Minnesota in this week. I think that's disgusting. I don't think he's going to ruin the game for them. I can see that happening. He hasn't played in a while. He came up off the streets to go to Minnesota. And I don't think he's going to be ready for this game. Jake Browning is about as warm as a backup quarterback could ever humanly be. He had a game-winning drive to end against the Jaguars after starting out terribly. He's coming in hot. And Jamar Chase, I think, is going to have a huge game in this one. And I just don't think the Vikings are going to score. It's going to be like a 24-14 game, in my opinion. And I like the Bengals big time.
I just can't see the Vikings laying another egg at home. I don't care who's in there. I just can't.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that was bad last week. I mean, we called it. I smelled it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Kevin O'Connell's too good of an OC and HC to let this happen 2 weeks in a row. And, you know, they lose Aaron Jones. He's on IR now for 4 weeks. This is a blessing in disguise, guys, because Jordan Mason is a very good running back, and he's really never been handed the keys to the kingdom. This is the first time in his career it is his team, and he's going to run all over the Bengals tomorrow. He's going to run all over the Bengals tomorrow. All his overs, guys, smash him hard. They're just going to give him the ball. He's just going to eat. And don't forget that, like, they have this one guy named Justin Jefferson, and they have this other guy named TJ Hawkinson. You know, they have Jalen Naylor, and they have a pretty decent defense, man. The defense is not horrible. They just played a really bad game. They got punched in the mouth by a team that said, we're just going to run at you. Chase Brown is not that kind of a running back. Browning, yeah, he's a backup, but he's still a backup. I just can't see this team losing 2 games at home, and a field goal wins you money. Field goal wins you money. I know Wentz is a bum, but so is Browning. These guys are backups for a reason. Guys, if they were good enough, they'd be starting somewhere. And I know you got Jamar Chase, but, like, he had Jamar Chase last year and they didn't go anywhere. And T. Higgins last year and they didn't go anywhere. They didn't make the playoffs last year or the year before when he got hurt. It's the same situation. And can we please get Joe Burrow some help? Joe Burrow is the most disrespected NFL player in the entire league. Pay this guy and then protect him. It bothers me that he's always hurt, but it's not his fault. They don't protect him. If they did this to Mahomes, I would fly to Kansas City and burn down Arrowhead Stadium. It's not fair. It's not right. Football fans deserve to see greatness. And when you don't trust your line enough to put the money into it to protect your $5 trillion investment, there's something wrong with your franchise. Your GM deserves to be fired. Okay, so now you got Browning and you're asking him to go on a road in a hostile environment and win this game? I can't see it, man. I think they're going to control the clock with Jordan Mason in a big way. I think he has 2 touchdowns tomorrow, and I think they win this game by at least 7 points. I don't like the Bengals anywhere. They've been winning with smoke and mirrors so far, and now Joe Burrow is out. You chop the head off your leader, and what do you get? You get a losing franchise that gets exposed every single time. It's supposed to happen every single year. The Bengals have done absolutely nothing in the NFL since Burrowhead, and the trend continues. They get you excited enough to gamble on them, but when push comes to shove, they are cast with a friendly ghost. I don't believe in this team at all. All they are is inflated stats. They are not winners, and in order to beat a team like this in their building, you have to be winners, and that's not who they are. Take the Vikings minus 2.5 with confidence. Kevin O'Connell won't let this happen 2 weeks in a row.
Okay, let's switch over. It's the Houston Texans, and they are going to Jacksonville. The Jaguars are minus 1.5. This is a no-brainer for me. I'm just on the dogs this week. I hate that. I like Houston, man. Trevor Lawrence is trash. He's garbage. Stinks. He lost in that game easily. Jake Browning, I think, had like 2-3 interceptions, and all they needed was like a field goal out of him. I know Brian Thomas dropped that pass, but my goodness, man.
Brian Thomas.
Horrible interception.
Trevor Lawrence is buns, but Brian Thomas did not help his quarterback. Dude, he alligator armed like 4 passes that should have all been caught. Let's be honest. I mean, I'm no Trevor Lawrence truther. You know this. But the blame needs to go around. It's not he should have won the game last week. His team let him down.
They did, but here's the thing. The Houston Texans know their season's over if they lose this game.
The season's over if they don't lose this game. If they win the game, the season's over.
At least in their locker room, let's say. At least in their locker room.
Dude, they let Laramie Tunsil go, and that was the beginning of the end.
Well, yeah, we know that now. I mean, that's the most head-scratching move, I think, in the NFL.
It's the beginning of the end. They have
nobody on the offensive line, and they got rid of their only good one.
When you are relying on Nick Chubb to solidify your team, you're going nowhere.
I still believe the Houston Texans win this game. I don't like Trevor Lawrence. I think he stinks. I don't think they just figure it out this week. I think this is a bad spot for them. Like I said, at least in the context of the Houston Texans locker room, they know their season is quite literally over if they lose this game. That desperation is going to be just enough for them to win. I like them by like maybe 2, a field goal or something like that. I think it's going to come down to the end here. I think the Houston Texans play their best game of the season against the Jaguars, and I think Trevor Lawrence throws a horrible interception that ruins the game for him.
I'm taking the Jags minus 1.5. It's only 1.5, and you're at home. Brian Thomas has not done anything yet. This is the week he goes apeshit. I like him a lot here. I think Travis Etienne, is going to do what he needs to do, man. He's had a nice season, and they've traded away like his Tank Bigsby, his biggest competition. Let Basil Tootin do a little something. Let Brayton Strange do a little something. And can we get Travis Hunter involved? This is the week guys actually get involved. It's almost like preseason just ended for a lot of teams. Yeah. And now this is like their home opener, so to speak. And the Houston Texans are horrible, man. I'm sorry. Their running back room is horrible. I know Nick Chubb scored a touchdown late last week. I get all that, but their offensive line is terrible. They cannot protect CJ Stroud. Guys, CJ Stroud is not as good as you think he is. He is not as good. Dude, if you took Nico Collins away from CJ Stroud, he would be a losing quarterback. Conversely, like a lot of guys like Mahomes are throwing to 4th and 5th string guys winning Super Bowls. Okay? And so you can't run the ball. You can't protect your quarterback. And you can't get your best player the ball. How are you going to win this game? I'm just not seeing it, man. Maybe they play a lot better. Maybe Nico just leaves his body, but that's what it's going to take for them to win this game is to have Nico Collins have a Nico Collins-like game. And so far, he hasn't had one. Brian Thomas hasn't had one. And so I'm just going to say, because he's home and he played so badly last week, that I think Brian Thomas was so bad last week. We want to bang on Trevor Lawrence, and I gave Lawrence the ultimatum, but Trevor Lawrence did not lose that game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He did not. So I'm going to take him this week, and I'm going to take him with a moniker of confidence too, man. 1.5, dude. Whoever has the ball last going to win this game, I think, is going to be Jacksonville. They got the better running game. They got the better defense, and they're home.
All right, last early morning slate game. It's the Green Bay Packers minus 7.5 against the Cleveland Browns. Well, we got baited last week at the big one.
Yeah, we did. We did, man.
I mean, we said what happened could happen, obviously. It wasn't like a shocker.
I'm not shocked by it, yeah.
I was disappointed, and I'm not going to be scared by this line either. I mean, this is another one of those bait. They're just putting the bait in front of you. Take the Packers. I'm taking it. Okay, I'm going to be the little fish in the pond that takes the delicious little bait because in no way is Micah Parsons like they need to have a stretcher on the sideline available for Joe Flacco in a sense. Like Micah Parsons is going to go nuclear in this game. I mean, you're talking about Joe Flacco who can barely move. Dylan Gabriel's going to come into this game. I think
And
it's
the
coming.
game's over.
Any second now. And Dylan Gabriel's going to have 2 interceptions. I mean, there's nothing I think that the Browns can do to keep this game close at all. I know this is one of those weeks where the Browns have the best game of their life. The Packers look terrible. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. I think the Packers go crazy on him. I wish you could take team sack totals or something. I wish you could bet on that because I would take it for the Packers, even if it was like 3.5. This is going to be like a 4-sack game. Micah Parsons might have 3 by himself, to be honest with you. And I think this is just a massive blowout. I like the over in this game too, by the way, 41.5. I think the Packers score like 30 points in this game. I don't see any reason why the Browns are going to stop them. I know what's his name broke his collarbone, but that's the whole thing about the Packers that they don't have any wide receiver one. Everyone's at the same skill level. So it's just like, all right, who's the next guy who's just going to like score a bunch of points for them or get random touchdowns? I know Tyler Kraft, I believe, hurt himself in practice this week. He's questionable. But give me Romeo Doubs anytime touchdown in this game. It feels like a steal. You can make a little same game parlay anytime touchdowns for Josh Jacobs and Romeo Doubs, and you'll be happy with it. I really believe
I love that.
So,
I love that.
I love the Browns. I love the Packers in this one.
This is my best bet this week. My best bets have hit first 2 weeks, and they're going to continue on here because the Packers are going to roll the Browns. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe 2 weeks in a row. Plus 11.5, and you still got murked. I don't care. Joe Flacco was awful last week. Now you're playing a real team with a mission to get home field advantage. They're not going to take this team lightly for any stretch of the game. I love their head coach in LaFleur. He's going to have Josh Jacobs ready. I know he's banged up. I know Kraft is banged up and may not play. It doesn't matter because like Spencer alluded to, they got guys that you just tap in and all of a sudden they come in and they do the same thing that those hurt players were doing. It wouldn't surprise anyone if Dontavian Wicks came in and scored in this game. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise anybody if Luke Musgrave came in and scored in this game. That's just how the Packers roll. They've got a stable of weapons. They've got a plethora of talent. And at any given time, those guys are going to flash. And Jordan Love doesn't even have to be special. They just have to have Josh Jacobs move the chains, which I think he can. Joe Flacco worries me in this game, man. He didn't look good last week at all. Hasn't been using Njoku like I thought. Hasn't been using Fannin like I thought. Come on. Come on, guys. You have the best skill players available to you, and you're not using them. Maybe these defenses are just too much for you. That's what happened last week. I think that's what's going to happen this week. I am not scared by this number. I think they're going to win this game by at least 12 to 15 points. Easily. The Packers are a Super Bowl contending team. And if the Eagles have to go to Green Bay in January, it's a coin flip as far as I'm concerned. I've been there multiple times. I know what that city's about. They are a winning franchise with a winning GM and a winning head coach, and they're ready to take the next step. Jordan Love worries me a little bit, but they're going to get Reed back at some point. Their defense gets better and better, and I can't think of a better team for Micah Parsons to have gone to. We're pushing our chips into the middle of the table. This is our best shot to win a Super Bowl in this era, and we're taking it, man, and we're not letting some bums like the Cleveland Browns blow our chances of coming to Lambeau in January. Take the Packers minus 7.5 and don't think twice about it.
Let's start the afternoon games. It's the Denver Broncos going to Los Angeles. The Chargers are minus 2.5. I'm not going to say I'm completely off on the Denver Broncos, but I've to say that I'm not impressed with what they've done this year is an understatement. Reigning defensive player of the year, Patrick Surtain has not looked good this year. He got burned last week a few times. And, just not the best Bo Nix performances either. I think, last week against the Raiders, the Raiders played a bad game, but I almost think it was more about the Chargers being that good. They're Super Bowl contenders. We see that now. I think it's just a fact at this point. And I think they can win the same way every week. Their defense is so good. It's just like, dude, if the Chargers score 23 points, they might just win out the season. Like it's stupid. It's like dumb enough to believe something like that. But you see, it's really like good. The Chargers offense can just do just enough now. Hey man, score 24 points. Ain't nobody scoring more than 24 points on the Chargers. And the Denver Broncos, they play like they did last week or in week 1. It's going to play out like they did in the Raiders game. It's going to be a 9-20 game. I only need a field goal to win this at home. I know it's one of those AFC West games where it's like you believe that's going to happen, and then suddenly the Denver Broncos play the best game of the season. Big upset. It would be an upset for sure. I would actually call it a big upset if the Broncos won this week. But I just have to see someone beat the Chargers to do it. I need to see someone put up points on the Chargers to believe that anybody can beat them, like in a head-to-head clash. I hate to say that because I hate the Chargers, but they just look so good this year. There's no denying it. I'm not like one of those Raiders fans who just, believes that everyone in the AFC sucks except for the Raiders or something. You know what I mean? Like, I know the reality of the situation, and it's not the Chargers are the best team in the AFC West this year. And I think they can control this game. I think they're going to start the season off with 3 division games is huge, man. It's almost going to cement if they win this week that they're going to win the AFC West. It feels that way, at least to me right now. And I think they do win this game. I don't like the way the Broncos have played this year. They gave a bunch of money to Dre Greenlaw, never understood it. He hasn't played yet this season. I think he's going to be one of those injury-riddled free agents that have a high potential and just never sees the field. Imagine they lose Hufanga, who they also signed from the 49ers. Imagine he goes down with an injury like he has the past few years. Now they're in trouble. Now they're in really big trouble. And the Broncos got to show me that they can win a good football game, and I'm not betting on them until they do.
What you're seeing happening with the Los Angeles Chargers, guys, is a product of just good coaching. We saw this coming, but we didn't sledgehammer it. We didn't slam it. You know what I mean? Because we're both AFC West guys, and we want our teams to be the team. My team's been the team forever. When you're good for that long, you just never think that, like, your reign's going to be short like leprechauns. But that seems to be what's happening here. And the Chargers have done this a lot of different ways, and the recipe is working. You bring back Keenan Allen, which is a move no one wants to talk about. The guy is their wide receiver 1. How old is he? You know what I mean? Lad McConkey is an afterthought on this team, which is the perfect role for him to play. They don't need him to be 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, Lad McConkey.
Quentin Johnson's look good this
year. And
then
Quentin Johnson all of a sudden is catching balls. He is the Quentin Johnson that they thought they were getting when they drafted him. Sometimes you have to hold a player's hand a little bit longer, and that seems to be what is happening with the LA Chargers. And guys, they're not even gotten their running game going yet. Let them get their run game going, and they're going to be a very formidable foe in the entire AFC, not just the West. I like them here. I like them a lot here. I think Bo Nix is the sophomore slump quarterback of this season. Yes, they had the game won last week, but they're undisciplined, and it cost them a win on the road. And now they're going to go to LA, and I think they're going to lose this game too. I just don't believe in the Broncos because if the defense is not as good as everyone thinks it's going to be, it's going to cost them wins. The Chargers have the better defense of the two teams. I'm sorry. And they're doing this without Rashawn Slater, guys. I mean, they're even down guys in there doing this. If they start the season with 3 wins against 3 AFC West opponents, they're winning the division. You want to make some money, go bet on them to win the division. Right now, today, before tomorrow's game is even played, you're going to get better odds. And if they win, you're going to get paid. This is a really good team. Justin Herbert is playing really, really good football, man. Smart football. He's running more. They just moved the chains. And Derwin James and that defense is hitting anything that moves out there. I like them a lot. You can't even believe how much I like them. Guys, over here at World of Matches, we give respect where respect is due. And what you've seen from the Chargers the first 2 weeks of the season, in my mind, only the Packers have looked better. The Eagles have looked horrible in their wins. Only the Packers have looked better than the Chargers right now. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me to see those two teams go to the Super Bowl. I know that sounds crazy, but if this pace keeps up, guys, give me a reason why it couldn't happen. Why couldn't it happen? These are two good coaches, two good franchises, and the Chargers are home. Field goal wins you money. Dicker to kicker. Give me some money here. This is one of my favorite bets. I don't trust the Broncos here at all. Bo Nix throws
Yeah.
at least 2 picks here, gives up at least 2 sacks, and Khalil Mack is not even 100%. They're doing all this with hurt guys. I love LA here this week, and I think they're gonna have a really good season. I'm an AFC West guy, so I'm rooting for them. I can't stand them, but I'm rooting for them. My team's gonna suck. I'm gonna root for Spencer's team. If Spencer's team's gonna suck, I'm gonna root for the next AFC West team because I'm a believer, and I know Spencer believes this too. The AFC West is the hardest division in all of football. Go argue with a wall.
Yeah. Just
Go,
consistently,
you guys, go.
there's no Carolina Panthers, man, in the
None.
AFC West.
None. You can play the Raiders on any given day of the week. I don't care how good you are. The Raiders can beat you. You could be the Chiefs any given day of the week. Neutral field. The Chiefs can beat you. Same thing with LA. Same thing with Denver. Go argue with your mama. I don't want to hear nothing about the black
How
and
many
blue
Super Bowls
division.
belong to the AFC West in the
Stop.
past, like,
Don't get
couple
me
decades?
started. Don't get me started. AFC West is the best division in football, and you're seeing it this year, man. Chiefs might take a step back, and it's still early because they're injured. But when they get healthy, week 10, you talk to me about the Chiefs then. But right now, it's all about LA, and they're getting their flowers for me. Minus 2.5. Let's roll.
All right, more afternoon action. It's the Saints and Seahawks. They're going to Seattle. I hate to do this, man. My gut is going bananas this week, but
I can't lay 7.5. I'm sorry.
I'm going. The Saints have been better than I think anyone wants to give them credit for this year. They've kept games closer than anyone, and you won't notice it because they've lost every week, and you're like, yeah, they're terrible, and they are not good, but they're like a scrappy, dumb little team, and that half point I think is going to come in this game. I mean, it might not. It's like one of those Brown situations last week where you're like, yeah, it's a lot of points, and then they get blown out. It could happen, but the Saints haven't really been blown out yet. They have not been blown out yet, and
they've been in every game.
I don't think there's anything special about the Seattle Seahawks, and it's not that I feel good about it. You know, I'm not like, God, man, I love the Saints plus 7.5 this week, but I don't know. Those hooks are what put these sports betting companies on yachts in the summertime. And it just feels like one of those games where the hook is just going to make someone sick to their stomach. You know, a dumb field goal at the end, a dumb touchdown. All you need is a half point to hit. And I think the Saints can score enough. You know, it's not like the Seattle Seahawks. They got the Seahawks got spotted a touchdown last week. You know what I mean? It's like the score, I think, of the Steelers game was a little too much just because of the weird kickoff thing. That's obviously not going to happen 2 weeks in a row. And it's not like the 12th man is like a real thing in Seattle anymore. Everybody and their mother is going to be on the Seahawks, and this is how the sports books stay in business. You know what I mean? I'm going to take the Saints. I don't love it, but I'm going to take the Saints in this one.
I'm going to take the Saints too. I don't love it. Seahawks showed me a lot of heart and a lot of grit. I talked so much trash about them last week, man, and they just rubbed it all over me. I feel like I crapped in my pants and then rolled around it. So shout out the 12th man. Shout out my boy Keys. Big time win, but like there's just something about this game that I can't get behind. I mean, Charbonnet's hurt. He may not play. Kenneth Walker's always ready to get injured. And Sam Darnold, man, I just can't trust it. I don't know, man. 7.5. Dude, the Seattle Seahawks are 1-9 in their last 10 home games. I mean, like, that. Where's this 12th man you guys are telling me about? I don't know. I know that the Saints are disgusting. I do too. And I'm literally only doing this for the same reason that Spencer is doing it, because everyone's going to think that Seattle's just going to murder them. They haven't been murdered yet. And I know Spencer Rattler is buns, but you can win this game by 7. That half point is going to build you freaking, a steak and lobster dinner. Now, if you're scared, buy the half point and take Seattle. I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people think, man. Alvin Kamara could still catch a bunch of passes, and they have competent pass catchers. Juwan Johnson is hard to deal with. He's running way more routes this year than last year. I mean, Olave is good enough. Rashid over the top, I could see it happening. I could see it happen. I could see a world where they cover this 7.5. There's pull and pray, and then there's pull and go to Planned Parenthood. This is pull and go to Planned Parenthood, okay? So, like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's a world where they get absolutely murdered. But, again, like I mentioned earlier in the show, man, if I lay $10, I don't want like $7.50 back. I want 15. And this is how you get 15 by being the one with enough balls to say, you know what? I don't believe Seattle can cover the 7.5. I'll say it out loud. I don't. I don't believe in Sam Darnold at all. And I don't believe in the health of Ken Walker 2 weeks in a row. I don't. I just don't. The record in the last 10 games tells me everything I need to know about why it is what it is. Seattle is fool's gold. Last week was an aberration. I don't see it happening again. It's an anomaly. Yes, I will give them their flowers for that win. And again, if they now murder this team 31-3, I will come back on here next week, and you could serve up the crow sandwich medium rare, but I ain't taking it until I see it happen. Take the Saints plus 7.5.
All right, let's go to two teams that are like limping into the stadium. It's the Cardinals. They're going to San Francisco. I'm looking at the list of injuries. Will Johnson is doubtful. This is the problem that everyone thought. This is why he slipped so far into the draft. Garrett Williams is on IR for them. I have two more. Sean Murphy Bunting for the Cardinals is also on IR. Starling Thomas is also on IR. There's no one in the secondary for Arizona, but I mean, to the benefit maybe of them, because, for the 49ers, Juwan Jennings is questionable in this game. Obviously, George Kittle is gone. These two guys are just barely making it there. We already know about Brandon Ayuk, but I was talking about this with my dad last night. I'm like, is there any difference between Mac Jones and Brock Purdy? Is there any real tangible difference between the two of them? I don't think so. In all reality, as crazy as that is to say, and I picked up also in our fantasy league, I picked up Mac Jones, and he won me. I'm not gonna say he won me my fantasy week, but he had 3 touchdowns in his first game. Is there any reason he can't throw 3 more? Christian McCaffrey's like another receiver out there for them. I think he's gonna have another big game. I don't believe in the Arizona Cardinals. They've had 2 gimmies. Such a soft start to this season so far. I think this is where they kind of face a little bit of reality. And I know the Arizona Cardinals tend to start off strong every year. They did last year too. But I think the 49ers, despite their injuries, with Christian McCaffrey there, I think they can make it work. With Ricky Pearsall and Christian McCaffrey, I think it's enough to win this game by a field goal. I have it actually with a fairly bit of confidence. I don't like Kyler Murray. I think he stinks. As much as injured as the 49ers are offensively, they're fairly healthy on the defensive side of the ball. And I think that's enough. This is going to be one of those patented, Kyler Murray does the worst interception you've ever seen in your life kind of game, where he does a 360 spin and just chucks the ball up in the air, something you're like, how does a professional quarterback do that? I think it's going to be one of those kinds of games for Kyler Murray. And I think the 49ers win. I think Brock Purdy has another good 2 touchdown, 200-yard game, and they win 20-17 or something like that.
I could see it. Is Purdy ruled out? I thought he was questionable.
He's not going to play. Yeah, I mean, he's questionable. I don't think he's going to play.
I don't think he's going to play either. This is
his initial diagnosis was 4 weeks.
So 4 or 5 weeks. This is the hospital bowl. This is the hospital bowl.
It is.
Something tells me that the Cards are going to be in this game, man. They've won there recently. I believe it was last year or the year before. And that was with a healthier Niner team. I don't trust the 49ers, man. They got too many injuries. And I know that the Cardinals are nothing to, write home about. But Kyler Murray has made an effort to run more this season. And it's gotten them a couple wins. One of my favorite bets this week is Trey McBride anytime touchdown. People think this guy's just never, ever going to score, and so the odds are going to be great. One of these weeks, this guy's going to score a touchdown, bro. Trey McBride, anytime touchdown this week, I think it's a lock. Because in order to win the game, they're going to have to go to him a lot. Especially if the Niners get up 7-0, 10-0, 10-3. MHJ. Their run game is really good, man. James Conner and Trey Benson are very underrated runners. They don't get the flowers that they deserve. I think they can control this game personally. I really do. On the ground, There's nothing about the Niner defense that scares me anymore outside of Nick Bosa. So double him. Problem solved. Their secondary suspect. And everyone's hurt. And is there a more overrated head coach in the NFL than Shanahan? I'm sorry, man. I mean, I know he's gotten there a bunch of times, and they love him. Like, what has this guy ever done? Like, he never brings it home. He never brings it home. The San Francisco 49ers of the 2000s are the poster children for taking the hottest girl at school to the prom, and then some thug leaves with her. And you're just standing there like a herb wondering what happened. And I think that you're going to see it again here. I'm going to take a shot on the Cardinals here, man. They've been backdoor cover kings for me for a lot of years, and I think it continues here simply because they can run the ball and control the clock. And if their pass catchers get in the end zone, they win the game outright. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Everyone's going to say the same thing you're saying, Spencer. Oh, the Cardinals been lucky. They've been gifted 2 wins. The Niners should roll them. They're at home. Dude, what kind of major home field advantage do they have in Santa Clara?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? Like, who's
babies.
Who's better than us? Bang, bang, Niner gang. Dude, that stuff is so corny. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to bag on the Niners because they're a major storied franchise with hardware, but they're too injured here for me to really think that they're going to murder this team. If they win, they can win by 2 points and barely cover. But I'm like I said, if I don't want to lay $10 to win $7, man. I want to always be the guy that will do what someone else won't do because they're scared. And I'll take the Cards here, man. They got the same amount of talent. I think they can win the game outright. I really do.
Last few games here. Dallas Cowboys going to Chicago. The Dallas Cowboys are -1.5. Look, we knew the Dallas Cowboys defense would be terrible, but yeah, it's as terrible as advertised. But it's not like the Bears are good. That was the one thing in the offseason I think that irked me the most. And maybe because everyone was with Ben Johnson, the whole fake out where Ben Johnson is going to be the Raiders head coach. And I was like, you know what? I'm not just so convinced that this guy's just going to walk onto the scene and be the ultimate head coach. He's the new Sean McVay, Everyone had already deemed him that. And their offense did look better last week, obviously, but it was a blowout. I mean, they were never in that game for 2 seconds. That was a pretty easy game to call. And I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys here. I think that it's going to be another one of those shootouts. I like Roma Dunze anytime touchdown in this game.
Mm-hmm.
He looked great last week. That was the best game of his career in a blowout loss, but still the best game of his career as an individual player, I guess, in that one. I think he can do it again. There's no way I need to see the Bears plus before I think I have any interest, plus at least a field goal or something before I have any interest in betting on them again this season period. Caleb Williams just doesn't look very good, and their defense is atrocious. We know the Dallas Cowboys can put up points. There's no doubting it now. I think we talked about in week 1. After that thunderstorm, everyone was dead in that game. They could have scored a lot more than the Cowboys were firing on all cylinders offensively in week 1 before the delay. And you saw that it was a shootout last week, like an old Western shootout last week against the Giants.
That was a great game, man. The last 5 minutes of that game were as good as the last 5 minutes of the Chiefs Bills 13-second game.
I know.
I thought the Giants had that game won, and out of nowhere, the Cowboys pulled it out of the freaking magic hat.
That 3-deep defense is the dumbest thing in National Football League.
It prevents you from winning.
Yeah, I
prevent defense prevents you from winning. But yeah, I like what you're saying about the Cowboys here. I'm in full agreement as well. You know how I feel about Caleb Williams. I don't think he's very good at all. I think the Bears are overrated. Everyone just thought that you were going to put this puzzle piece together because they are all, studly players. What was the whole point?
Nothing.
What was the whole point of drafting Colston Loveland? I mean,
I didn't get that either in the first.
You had Cole Kmet. You need defense, and Cole Kmet's good. Cole Kmet deserves to go to a winning franchise after bearing what he's done for this team and then going and drafting Loveland for no reason. Swift is good, but they don't use him right. And like I said, man, this team's only going to go as far as Kalen. Like, free Roma Dunze, because that boy is a baller. Free DJ Moore, too, man. He's on the wrong team, too. DJ Moore was better on Carolina. I said what I said. Like, I don't believe in this team at all. Like, at all. I know Ben Johnson, that's what you get, like, when you just think these OCs from these perfect situations are going to go and be great head coaches somewhere else. Guys, it doesn't always work out, man. And until I see them have a convincing win against anyone, I'm betting against them every single week. The Dallas Cowboys can score, okay? And you haven't even seen Pickens blow up yet. Once Pickens really gets going, I mean, that Pickens is as good as anyone in the NFL. No one's making better contested, acrobatic, one-handed grabs than this guy. Nobody. Guys, I said what I said, okay? And so when that starts happening, Dallas is going to be a real threat. I know Parsons is gone, but look, they can outscore bad teams, which is what they're going to do here. It's what they're going to do here, man. And their secondary is pretty good. How are the Bears going to win this game, Spencer? I just can't see it, man. I don't trust Caleb. I'm so down on Caleb, man. It's not even funny. You want to see him be good, man, but he's a weirdo. He's not a leader of men. It's just too much of an emotional wreck. I just don't like the kid. I think he thought he was going to waltz into this league and dominate like he did at USC. Guys, this is a grown man's league. I just don't see anything good coming of it. I like Rome a lot. I like Swift a lot. Those guys deserve better. Take the boys minus 1.5. I'd be shocked if the Bears win this game. Something big on defense will have to happen for the Bears to win this game, and their defense stinks. Jalen Johnson out too. Their best player on defense is out. Dude, why is this only 1.5? Is this supposed to snow or something in Chicago tomorrow?
I know, right? That's what I'm saying.
These 1.5 point games, they all worry me. They do. They all worry me. I don't like 1.5 lines. They're weird. But I do like the boys enough here to take them with confidence. Until I see something out of Chicago, I can't trust them anywhere.
A bizarre Sunday Night Football to end the week. Really strange, in my opinion. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to New York. I don't even know what to make of last week, to be honest with you, with the Giants. Russell Wilson has, statistically, the best passing number of his career. I think it was the most passing yards in a single game. I think he broke the record.
Russ looked fantastic last week. Okay? Russ heard footsteps of Jackson Dart. Russ heard the rumblings of him being benched. Russ knows he's not there for long. NFL stands for not for long. Russ knows that he is just a seat warmer. Jackson Dart, honestly, Michael Penix, Jackson Dart, like they keep bringing these guys in and babying them along. If you're not going to sit the guy for the full season and give him the Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes treatment, put him on the field. Cam Ward style. Peyton Manning style. Day one, here's the keys to the Corvette, son. Let's roll. But they're not doing that. And Russ is a consummate pressure. He's a professional. He's like, no, I can still play. I can ball. And he can ball. Russ can ball. Guys, can we stop talking about Russell Wilson like he's not a borderline Hall of Famer? Can we please stop? Seriously. Like, can we stop with this nonsense? How are the Chiefs favored by 6.5 in this game? That's absolutely disgraceful. Dude, that's absolutely disgraceful. Dude, guys, Giants money line. Dude, the Chiefs are not good right now. No Rashee Rice. Xavier Worthy downgraded to out. They cannot run the ball. Patrick Mahomes is the leading rusher on their team. Travis Kelce preoccupied. Old.
Travis Kelce's checked out, dude.
Travis Kelce has cost the Chiefs 2 wins this season. I'm telling you, I felt so good about the Chiefs winning that game last week. And if he catches that ball at the 1-yard line, they win the game. They win the game. The defense would find a way to win the game. But no. Huge swing, and then Philadelphia does what they do. Guys, I'm taking the Giants plus a 6.5 here, man. I'm not betting on the Kansas City Chiefs again until they're all healthy. I will bet against them every single week until they're healthy again. Until I get back Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, I'm betting against Kansas City. It's just that simple. And I'm a diehard Chief fan. I am a Chief truther. You are out of your mind if you bet Kansas City this year. Isaiah Pacheco is useless. Kareem Hunt is old. They've got nobody that can move a pile. Everything is 3 yards in a cloud of dust. You see Patrick Mahomes out there laying the wood to fools. He's telling you that without wins, he's still the most valuable player in the league because he's going to do whatever it takes to get the first down. He's going to do whatever it takes to get the win, and he will run over a DB if he has to do it. There is no more important player to a team in the National Football League than Patrick Mahomes. I don't know why this is even up for discussion every single week. The Chiefs would not win a game this year without Patrick Mahomes in this team. This is a fact. And they're home for their home opener. Giants fans are going to be rabid after this performance. And they should have won the game versus Dallas, guys.
Oh my gosh, they should have.
They should have won the game. The matchup to watch here is Malik Neighbors versus Trent McDuffie. This is must-see TV because Neighbors left his body. Okay? I think he just got back to earth last night. Neighbors went somewhere else. I don't know where he went. But you don't see that kind of performance from average wide receivers. There's only like 4 or 5 guys in this league that could even do what this guy does. And if Russ gives them competent play, they're going to score in Kansas City. Kansas City defense took a step back. Christian Fulton out. Mike Dana out. Half their team's not playing. How are they favored by 6.5 points? What is Mahomes going to hand the ball off to himself? He's going to throw the ball up and then run downfield and catch it? Hollywood Brown's not a dude. I'm tired of this nonsense, man, because I expect excellence from my team, right? But I'm also not an excuse giver. It is what it is. They are not there anymore. They're hurt. They're banged up. Suspensions. How are they favored by guys? This is one of the biggest locks in all of football. If the Chiefs win this game, they're going to win it on a Harrison Butker field goal from 55 yards out to win the game at the gun. Dominate a team? The Chiefs haven't dominated anyone in years. I love the Giants here. Love. And if the Chiefs come out and smoke the Giants, it's a win-win for me anyway because I need a win. But I am not confident that the Chiefs could go 0-3 here. Anyone that doesn't believe so, they got it. Of course they have a chance. The Giants are not a good team. But they're home, coming off a galvanized performance, and they're feeling good. This is a game that everyone is going to think Kansas City is going to come out and murder the Giants, and I don't think so. I'm taking the Giants plus 6.5. You're going to do what you want to do.
All right, it's Monday Night Football.
Who do you like in that game?
The Detroit Lions. Oh, I like the Giants.
You like the Giants plus 6?
Yeah, I do. I think it's a little. I think it's a little too much. If the Giants play like they did last week, I think they'll.
Who have the Chiefs played well to be favored by a touchdown? The Chiefs haven't won a game since they beat Buffalo in the playoffs. Not a regular season game, not a preseason game, not a postseason game. Guys, 6.5 is a lot for a team on the road that hasn't won anything in months. Wrap it up.
All right, Detroit Lions traveling to Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are minus 4.5. I like the Ravens in this game. Detroit needed that game last week. I think they needed that performance to just kind of shake off. I guess you can consider it rust. I don't really know what you want to call it. Just to know that they can do it, and that they're much better. They're not a terrible football team. Everyone's like, oh, they lost their coordinators. Are they just done for? They're not done for. But their defense worries me. I feel like their defense is really mid. And I think the Ravens, they just score so many points. Are the Lions just going to shut them down? I don't think so. I think the Ravens score like 30, 33, 34 points in this game. I don't know if the Lions can score enough. They're going to put a lot of pressure on Jared Goff in this game. Is Jared Goff just going to figure it out? I don't feel like he is. I know it. Last year, this game would have been like the best game ever. I have to see the Lions beat a good team for me to believe they're as good as they were last year. I don't think they're terrible, like I said. I don't think they're as good as last year. I think they're going to run into a lot of issues this year. And I think the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I just think they're going to they're on a tear, man. Their offense is so like DeAndre Hopkins is like turned back the clock. If he keeps playing the way they do, no one's gonna beat them. Week 1 was just insanity. It's just like that. There's just a magical little bit of dust in the air for week 1 in the National Football League. You know what I mean? It's just weird. Everyone's like remembering how to play football.
First two weeks. Remember, It used to be 4 preseason games, right?
Yeah.
First couple weeks, man. That's why I'm not getting too down on guys that are 0-2. I don't really worry about my team until like November. If they're not winning by November, then it's a lost year. Then it's a rebuild. But it takes a while, man. Injuries, new HCs, new DCs, new OCs. Kind of matters. I like the Lions here. Wow. I do, man. I like the Lions plus the 4.5. They've got enough weapons to score with Baltimore. And, you got to rattle Goff, and Baltimore does not rush 4 very well. The D-line's good, but they don't get after it. I mean, when they absolutely had to have, Josh Allen on the ropes, they couldn't do it. They couldn't close it. There's no universe that they should have lost that game, man. And I, too, have them winning the Super Bowl. So don't get me wrong. But styles make fights, man. We haven't seen JMO explode yet. You haven't seen Gibby explode yet. Guys, it's coming. Players this talented they just can't be held down for forever, man. And I can't think of a better time for it to happen than on Monday Night Football versus a team that everyone is expecting to just murder them. I don't see it happening. Goff is feast or famine, yes, but let's not act like Goff didn't just have 5 touchdowns in a game. If he's protected well, Goff eats. He's the most underrated quarterback in the entire NFL. In the entire NFL, the guy was thrown away like a piece of garbage. And literally, his coach cost him a Super Bowl ring. He had a chance at it. Big, athletic, can run if have to, can sell a fake, play action. He's tough. He's tough. Lions just has to protect him. They did lose, a couple guys to retirement, and that's huge. So far, it doesn't seem like it's hurt them too much, but they haven't really played the caliber of team like the Ravens, and I think this is where that they're going to pull out some stops here. Some big 4th downs are going to have to be made. I think this is going to be a big game for Laporta, the forgotten about Lion. Just doesn't get – he's the forgotten about Lion. Laporta can do damage in the middle of the field, man. I'm telling you, they got this kid Tesla. They got weapons, bro. They got weapons. This is too many points for that many weapons. I like the Lions plus 4.5. Yes, the Ravens are good, but they are suspect to these brain farts here, man. And I think when they absolutely have to have it, their defense could let them down in a big spot. I'm telling you right now, if the Ravens do not get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, they're not going to win the Super Bowl because Buffalo is hungry. I have not seen a team as hungry as the Buffalo Bills in my life. I've been watching football since I was 3 years old.
They're salivating, man.
Bro, in my life, they would sacrifice their young for a Super Bowl in Buffalo.
Yeah.
They're the only team right now standing in the way of the Ravens, and the Ravens are not playing at the level that they're playing at. They need to come out and annihilate for the Lions for me to put them there, and I don't see it happening. I'm taking the Lions plus 4.5, and I'm taking them with confidence. This is a team that's got a coach with balls, a great play calling sheet, and they can score points with anyone. What a great show today was, man. I was feeling lousy, and then we did this show.
I know, it gets you going, dude. It's football. There's nothing better than football. There's nothing
ready to run through a wall, man. Ready to run through a wall. Week 1, 10-4. Week 2, 7-8 for me. Week 1, 9-5 for Spencer. Last week, 10-5. Spencer has been doing real well. I've been taking a lot of chances, man, but if you want to kind of consistently make money, listen to Spencer. His teases, they hit too, man. They hit a lot too, man. You know what I mean? I'm not putting no real money on this. So Spencer, he's laying that teacher.
Some great primetime tickets this year, dude. I haven't had my great teaser tickets, but I've been betting these primetime games. I've just been so on point for them recently. So
this is the tight end university ticket this week, guys. Laporta anytime touchdown, McBride anytime touchdown. Parlay that. That's gonna win you some money, man. I like that ticket a lot.
I got to first. I'll throw this out there too while it's at the end, since we are doing a sports betting show. Me and my dad made some bets last night. I'll throw them out there just while you guys are listening. This is a 3-leg parlay. Those first touchdown tickets are like lottery tickets, basically. Mm-hmm. Josh Jacobs against the Cleveland Browns, Jamar Chase against the Minnesota Vikings, and Bijan Robinson against the Carolina Panthers.
I love that.
$5 pays $714.
I absolutely love that. Those guys are gonna score.
So it's silly. And then I have an anytime touchdown ticket. It's a two-leg Brock Bowers anytime touchdown, a Tetero McMillan anytime touchdown. $5 due. $38.
That's due. Bowers is due too. Bowers is due too. I think you're gonna see this week more scoring across the league. First couple of weeks they're tough. I mean, we had a couple blow-up games, you know what I mean? Buffalo, Baltimore. We had a couple guys, a couple teams, go crazy. I think you're going to see that more across the entire league. The rust is off, guys. Teams going 0-3 don't make the playoffs very, very desperation, panic. The panic button for a lot of teams is about to get pushed. On behalf of World of Matchups, I am Dexter Reid. That is Spencer the Wiz. I hope you guys enjoy the show. Like, subscribe, share the message. Again, please don't lose your house behind gambling. It ain't worth it. Don't lose your wife. It ain't worth it. Be smart, be safe, and enjoy Sunday football. We'll be back next Saturday, and we're out.
See you guys.